has done so very, for he has done so very much. He's done so much for you. What shall I render to Jehovah? To Jehovah. Come on, everybody declare, for he has done so very much for me.
This is Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit. Heart to Heart.
Do you wish to understand the Bible better and minister more effectively? Radio Pulpit partnered with one of the best Christian colleges in the world, Moody Bible Institute in Chicago, USA, to bring you Moody Bible enrichment courses online or on-site at Radio Pulpit in Pretoria. This will include biblical study methods, interpreting the Bible, learning to preach, and a variety of courses to choose from. It will cost only $750 for one 12-week course. Let us know if you are interested in the Radio Pulpit and Moody Bible Institute Bible Enrichment courses. Visit our website at radiopulpit.co.za for more information or SMS the word study to 37871 or alternatively WhatsApp the word study to 082-657-2729 and we will send you a link for more information.
Passionate about God, passionate about people. Radio Pulpit 657 AM, your daily companion. Download our mobile app or visit radiopulpit.co.za to listen to your favorite station 24 hours a day.
14 minutes just after 2 on 657 AM. Hello, family. Gave you the sounds of Tim Godfrey featuring... okay, wait. He is featuring Travis Green, Nara, and we're just saying, Lord, you have done so much for us. And even when we say thank you, it seems like it's not enough. Even if we do whatever, it seems like it's not enough. But we will still continue to say you are worthy of all worship and all praise. You are listening to Heart with me, Sibongile Mofokeng, and I'm with you up until 3 o'clock. I'm not alone. I'm joined by my beautiful queen, our social worker, Babalwa Solombela. How are you, my queen?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for having me, Sibongile. It's really great to be with you today and with the family.
It's always awesome to learn. Whenever you hear, we know, it's learning time. So we take out our pens. We write somewhere. But somebody challenged me last time after we spoke, and the person says to me, but Sibongile, kanjani? I don't think I had trauma anywhere in my life. I don't think I've experienced any trauma. So if you say overthinking might be as a result of one having a trauma, how? I don't think I had trauma. So can you explain that as again, just a little bit, so we can understand much better?
Okay, so overthinking is basically, it's about the quality of our thoughts. It's a process where a person has too many thoughts in their mind. It's like mental noise, where you have too many tabs open, on your computer. You've got too many tabs open on your desktop. And it actually robs you of your ability to focus, and it fills up your mind with thoughts, but it is not problem solving, and it is also not taking action. So it is a thinking style, and it doesn't always have to be associated with a trauma. However, it does talk about the way that we process information, the way we choose and we train ourselves to process information. So it can be related to anxiety, for instance. People who overthink could be anxious, in the sense that they would like to explore all options as if that is actually possible all the time. And that's when it becomes very problematic, because it's not always in your disposal to explore all the options. Like I was saying last week, there are things that we don't know that we don't know. So how long do you think about something before you take a decision? So it can be associated more with feelings of anxiety or doubt or stress, or a situation that you just don't understand, and you spend too much time thinking about it, but not actually thinking clearly about, not having quality thinking about it. Because that type of thinking does not lead to a solution. So it's actually a type of way that we process information in our mind. It can be associated with stress and anxiety, and it can also be associated with trauma as well. So that's how you can differentiate. We have lots of stresses in life and lots of things that we don't understand. Maybe some relationship with your manager that you don't understand, and you tend to think about it quite a lot because you don't understand it. And the more you think about it, the more you don't understand it. There's no action being taken, and there's no communication taking place because I'm busy thinking about this relationship, and I'm not communicating all these things that I need clarity on, which is leading to stress and anxiety. So that's saying it is the quality of our thinking. It is not taking action, and it is not problem solving, and that's why it can be problematic.
Sure. Somebody said also to me that they have been told that they are bipolar as a result of overthinking. The connection
Yes, it definitely has a connection with that, but you would need a clinical diagnosis on that. Bipolar disorder does, some of the symptoms is overthinking during the hyper state, where a person cannot actually control the flow of thoughts into their mind. So now this is now a clinical issue where the thoughts in the mind have overrun them. They are absolutely unable to control those thoughts, to stop their mind from running. And that's when the person actually needs therapy, formal therapy, as well as medication, so that they can be trained in how to, decrease the level of flow of thoughts in their mind. The thoughts are actually intrusive. They are there whether or not the person chooses them. There's constant flow of thinking. And that is actually a mental health condition that needs specialized treatment and attention. It is not the run-of-the-mill overthinking that most of us get into when we are stressed and anxious at different times in our lives. That one is a mental health condition that actually needs to be addressed specifically.
How does overthinking affect our relationships? Now, looking into relationships, be it it's a love relationship, be it it's a mother and child relationship, or siblings or friendships, how does overthinking affect these? Do such relationships, where there's an overthinker in them, thrive?
It is. Overthinking is a threat to relationships. So we're talking about the constant analysis of words that a person does in a relationship. So you're always searching for meaning. What does this person mean? And this searching for meaning is based on assumptions. It is not based on communicating with that particular person. Someone is always looking for hidden implications, or it can even cause conflicts because of the assumption that the person makes. You know, so you can imagine even a parent-child relationship. If you are overthinking as a parent, you make assumptions as to what the child is thinking, and you, instead of asking clarification questions, you are telling them, "Oh, is this what you are saying? Is this what you mean? Or you're doing this because of this?" So even in romantic relationship, it creates strife because you can't trust, you don't have confidence in what this person is saying, because you're always doubting and seeking more, making assumptions. And even when we seek clarity, so I always encourage overthinkers to seek clarity. But even when you are seeking clarity, there are boundaries. There are things that you cannot just say because you are thinking them. So there's a certain level of discipline that needs to be exercised, even when you are trying to communicate these many thoughts that you have, that respects the relationship, because there's communication or questions that do not respect the relationship, that do not encourage trust, that do not build trust and confidence in the way that they are being expressed. For instance, let's take evil suspicions or just being suspicious of somebody. So if somebody communicates, the overthinker communicates that they are suspicious of you, immediately the trust and the confidence in that relationship is eroded. And the person who's overthinking is just clarifying something that they are suspecting. They don't mean to break down the trust, but there are things that people say in relationship that automatically lead to that point where, so this is what you think about me, instead of, so that is when clarification can actually lead to more problems in the communication, because a person is communicating that they are suspicious of somebody, and usually there's even no basis for it. They've put 10 thoughts together and they've come up with suspicion, and now they want to communicate that suspicion in a relationship where it is actually, there's no grounds or support or trust in that relationship to start that type of communication. So even when we seek clarity as overthinkers, we need to respect the boundaries of people. There is a respectful way to ask questions and to seek clarification. So it's not a free-for-all. You can say whatever you want because you don't understand. You can ask whatever you want. You need to be considerate of the person that you are speaking to.
But now somebody says, when it comes to somebody who's an overthinker, and you are in a relationship with them one way or another, then you should be ready for bouts of insecurities. You will receive lots and lots of that. And they will question everything until it makes sense to them. So aren't they tiring?
Absolutely. And this is why I'm talking about boundaries, because a person who's an overthinker, it's very possible that part of their love language is communication. So part of what makes them feel connected to somebody is the words that the person uses. So now we have established that you need words. You need to be communicating to feel connected. That's one level, normal level. Then the person is now needing more communication than usual because they have to be validating this person, encouraging this person all the time. And it becomes overloading because of the number of thoughts that the overthinker is basically having. So you take a strength that is communicating and using it improperly or ineffectively. You take a strength of showing interest, like I want to talk to you, Sibongile, and communicate with you and ask questions and engage with you, and then you kind of like pull that strength away, that interest away by creating suspicion or breaking boundaries or over communicating. Or let's say you feel supported when you come home and you vent. You've had a stressful day. Now you're communicating, you're doing your love language, you're expecting your partner to hear you. But now that venting that is actually emotional support turns into a burden to the person who actually has to, because the thinking also goes around in circles and it doesn't stop. And you take a relationship where there's intellectual stimulation and appreciation. These people can talk to each other and communicate nicely, and you burden that with mental load and cycles of fears that are being expressed, and just a whole fearful situation. So you would express calm, you'd express your fears, but then when you're overthinking, now you are creating cycles of fear, and it always is around the same thing, doesn't go anywhere. There's no actions that are being taken. And lastly, like you can take emotional comfort and emotional support and turn it into a burden by looking for for one person to meet all your emotional needs, and that person now stops being able to comfort you, and you start being burdened now because now you are dependent on them to support all the emotional needs that a person has. So what is happening to the partner? So one thought I do have is do you understand your partner's needs?
Okay.
When you are like that, do you understand your partner's needs? Do you understand that they need space as well? And in this relationship, is there space for their thoughts? Because we are talking about the overthinker on one side. What about space for the other person's thoughts? Is that even taken into consideration? And you'll find that it isn't. The overthinker will just load and continue
Loading and
want to
loading.
be validated, and insecurities, yes. Their insecurities need to be addressed all the time. There's no space for the partner for their own thoughts, and there's no space for the partner to have boundaries in place. Like, today, I do not want to hear it. Is understood to be not supportive, or not wanting to communicate, or not wanting to listen. And yet, if you look at the whole entire trend, there's just an overload that is actually exhausting, that is happening to that particular partner.
Yeah. Then healing needs to take place, Mara kahle kahle, ne? Yeah.
Yeah.
But somebody,
So how much patience do you have?
okay, because they also say that you have to be careful of what you intend to say to an overthinker. You have to be
Yeah.
careful with every single word
Yes.
that you say. So, what if I am in love with this an overthinker? So these are the things I also need to put into place if I want the relationship to work, and yet encouraging them to get healing in that space.
Absolutely. The good tools to use is looking for balance. Okay, so you take your partner into consideration whenever you are sharing anything. So, it's a person, the other person is not there, for all your emotional needs. You need to actually have more friends and more therapy spaces, more counseling spaces, different people that you express yourself with, and so that you can check yourself, also evaluate yourself. But what's actually quite useful is being honest. You don't have to, it's a process of growth and change. So you need to be honest so that you can have honest communication and not make assumptions in the relationship, so that you can also be accepted and understood in the relationship. And it takes honesty. Otherwise, if you're not honest, you're going to be calculating and trying to be analyzing and doing all these things that overthinkers do. So the more honest you are, you put everything on the table, and you expect honesty from the other person as well. Then you also need to be present. So overthinking can also have to do with the past, and also focusing too much on the future. So it's quite important to be present in this particular moment, even as a parent, to not focus too much on what's happening tomorrow, but to be in this particular moment that you're in, and try to experience that mindfulness, that clarity of thought that is in this present moment, and not actually looking at any analysis of anything else. It's possible. It's possible to just be in the moment and not be analyzing that particular moment in itself. And the last thing is to actually nurture the connection. So when a person is an overthinker, it's so important for them to think about, there's thinking that's good. Think about the quality of the relationship. Think about the other person. And then also nurture the connection with that person. So if I'm going to talk to you, Sibongile, and tell you all the things that are going on in my mind, I need to think about, what are you going to take my call next time? Are you going to want to talk to me? Because all I've done is put all the thoughts, and including emotions, because words also carry emotion, and including the emotional burden on you. So will you want to take my call next time? Because I just violated the space of ours that we use to connect. So it's very important to know that you don't need all the questions answered in a relationship. So you don't need
Let's talk to somebody who's on the receiving end.
Yes, absolutely. You don't need all those questions answered. Some things take time. You will never figure them out. Let's say you just met somebody today.
Yeah.
You will never figure it out by thinking about it, whether this person is the right person or not. If you are in the present moment, you are able to discern.
So you
which is
can
quite
lose
important.
even the joys of the present moment because of
Yes.
everything. But now, yeah, but Usis Babalwa akangizwa. So I'm also thinking about lo orisivayo ukuthi yeah, their partner is an
He's
overthinker.
also, oh my goodness. So
Or
there are two overthinkers in this situation. Is that what you're saying?
if the other one is not even an overthinker, but they are receiving all of this from an overthinker that they are with, and it's
Exactly.
frustrating. Yeah.
No, it can definitely be a burden to receive all this type of information from the overthinker. Remember that overthinking is actually not problem solving. So it is talking and actually expressing those thoughts going around in circles. Even when overthinkers talk, they don't actually present any solution. They just talk about what it is that is going through their mind. So the receiver of this communication can actually be very exhausted with this. It can actually be quite exhausting.
How do we advise that one who's on the receiving? What should they do to make it thrive? Should they tell their partner, this is exhausting, my love, or their child, or their mother, or their friend? Hey, my friend. With friendship, it's easy. I don't know why with love relationships and parents and children and siblings relationship, it becomes difficult. But should they express it to say, we are constantly dealing with this and it's heavy on my part. I love you, but this part is really, really heavy. Sometimes it frustrates me. Should they express that?
I do. I agree. I think they should. In order to create healthy boundaries with that person, they should. So in an personal intimate relationship, you take more responsibility for your partner, but you shouldn't take too much responsibility. So if you implement boundaries, it will change the dynamics of the relationship. If you implement any boundaries in any relationship, the person knows that you will go this far and no further. So they are forced to change. They are forced to speak a certain way and not go further in speaking. So it's possible you can say that, yeah, we have spoken about this, or you make the person aware that you are telling me about this for the 10th time. Do you know that you've already spoken to me about this? We have already talked about it. I just said that 3 times. And that's what happens with an overthinker. They do that. They tell you the same thing over and over again. And it's important for the other person to say, but you just said that 3 times. I heard you. So, and you are pointing to the fact that nothing is moving forward. When you are reflecting, you are showing them you are not problem solving. You are going around in circles because it is the same thought. It doesn't grow, it doesn't mature, it doesn't turn into action. It is just you saying the same thing over and over again. So that's the best that a partner can do. Then the other thing that people do is to run away. They actually say, you know what, I need my own space. And this is not received well, obviously, because this person is looking for validation and is looking for, you're driving their anxiety even more because you're making them feel more insecure than what they already are by running away. So it's quite important to say, you know what, I would like to establish a boundary. I need my personal space. I need my own thoughts. I need to listen to myself so that we don't have to hear this person all the time. Some overthinkers are not big talkers. They don't talk all the time. But what comes out of their mouth when they start talking are all these things that they've been thinking about.
For all this time. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. And then you find yourself like, where did this come from? I'm pretty sure we did not talk about this. and the person is already 20 steps ahead of you
Yeah.
on something that he has just started. So it doesn't have to be a talkative person, but it's still frustrating because how did you get to 20 steps ahead of me when we have stopped at point A in this discussion? So it can be a person who's very quiet and will come, when you spoke to them in the morning, they'll come to you in the end of the day with 20 different ideas of the conversation you thought you had in the morning because they've been thinking about it the whole day and they've moved forward, even made assumptions on your behalf. So it can actually be quite frustrating because the person doesn't communicate, but they've established certain things and they've made certain assumptions and they are at a certain place by the time you talk to them. And they didn't communicate any of those things. They've just been thinking about those things.
Do they
So
struggle?
that's when
Yeah.
the trust and the confidence here can be eroded. Yes.
Do they really struggle about making decisions? So you should also be ready for that.
Yes, they struggle with making definitely making decisions because remember, overthinking is not problem solving. So they will go around in circles with making decisions. It concerning themselves and the relationship, even concerning the children as well. So it's actually not a productive space to be in because the communication is not it's not effective. It doesn't move anything forward. Yeah, definitely agree with that.
Sure. Alrighty, then let's take a break and then come back to really help somebody who's in the state and help their relationship thrive as well. So if you would lie to them, you are in trouble. Okay. I counted myself last time. I'm still counting myself even today. If you lie to as a person like me who's an overthink, umama tate.
Yo, no.
Let's take a break. We're coming back.
I do believe. Oh, weeping may endure for a night. Oh, joy, I believe your storm is over. I believe your rain is gone away. I believe you made it through it. Oh, I believe it's alright.
Feel the pulse on Heart to Heart with Sibongile Mofokeng on Radio Pulpit.
Lalela ukuze uzothola ukukhanya ebumnyameni. Thola i-app yethu manje. Ungangena ku radiopulpit.co.za futhi ungasithola ku DSTV Audio 882 kanti na ku OpenView 607 siyatholakala. Radio Pulpit, umngani wakho imihla ngemihla.
Tony Gospel Choir giving you assurance that things will get better. All will go well with you. So just hang in there. And I'm hoping that what we're talking about is also bringing hope, bringing strength. I'm not alone. I'm with our social worker. This is Babalwa Solombela. And I see you, Ike. Hello to you. Hello, Nicoline. Hello, Grace. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Prince Mabilo. Hello, France. Hello to Pastor Lufuno Negota or Apostle Lufuno Negota. He says, together with Frank Jacobs, as they say, it's a great show. He further says that you are good in the subject, my queen. That is for you as well, that you are good on that subject. So, my queen, let's come back, coming to healing. How does it come about? Sometimes we don't see ourselves until somebody says, but are you aware that you keep doing this? And you're like, oh, I didn't know I'm an overthinker. And then it dawns to you who you are and that you need help. You need to deal with it because it's not good on your relationship. So what are the steps that one needs to take for healing in this area for both sides?
Yes, I think healing is I will always say that self-awareness is the beginning of all healing. But there's work that needs to be done. You know, just before winter break, you said something about, lying. If you lie to an overthinker, that's it, you are finished. And it actually, it's true. Because it could be connected to betrayal. This overthinking can be connected to disappointment. So now if a person lies to you, then there's a whole lot of thoughts that can even lead to other traumas such as disappointment and betrayal. So it's I think it boils down to building trust and because there's things that we do not have in our control. So we have to trust ourselves, we have to trust God, and we have to trust other people and build that trust. So it's one of the most difficult things to do because if you are trying to avoid a similar situation happening to you, or let's say you were betrayed or you made a mistake or you were disappointed because you felt like you didn't think about the situation enough. So now you're in a cycle of trying to think your way out of any kind of trouble. Is that really possible? Is it really is it possible to think yourself into a healthy relationship or to think yourself into a trusting relationship, let's say with a partner? Can you think yourself into connection and intimacy with someone? You can only live that with a person. You cannot think your way into that. You can only be present with that person and be honest and look at things as you see them as they happen, not with a reference from betrayal, disappointment, and not with an anxiety about the future, about the same. So it is a constant exercise of bringing yourself into this present moment and saying, how effective am I in protecting myself by thinking about this like this? Because it doesn't lead to any action. Often people don't want to communicate what they've been thinking, and often it doesn't solve any problems. So what is it that am I actually doing that is moving me forward when I'm overthinking about the situation? We always have to go back to tools and say, write it down. What is actually bothering you, and be honest about it.
Right.
Once you've written it down, then you can look at it and say, okay, this I can share because it's not going to hurt the boundaries and the space. It's not going to hurt what I'm trying to nurture with this particular person. And I'm not saying if there is grounds for suspicion, you should say, I feel this way because of this and this and this. And not because I've been thinking 10 different thoughts and I've added 1 + 1 + 10 and it equals 35 to me. You are telling this person. That's abuse. At the end of the day, being overly suspicious is abusive. And the worst part is that people think it keeps their relationship healthy but the truth is, the more you ask questions, the more suspicious you are, the more you stay like that. It never makes anybody feel
It hurts you
secure
more.
because it hurts you and the person because it's not healthy. It is better to trust. God encourages us to trust. And He encourages us to discern. People feel foolish when you tell them to trust a person. God says you must discern. It doesn't say you must mistrust everyone. He says you must discern. And when we're talking about love believes all things. Love has faith on all things. Love trusts all things. Love hopes all the time. So if it's a love relationship, there's no excuse to live in suspicion and overthinking. There really isn't, because you are not believing in all things and expecting good things to happen from that situation. So the more we overthink and we lean on negative emotions, it is highly likely that those relationships will be destroyed. There's healing that is required there. So you need to be aware that, okay, I'm thinking this and this because of a certain situation. Now my suspicion has started. Where is the suspicion coming from? From a past issue? Like, look, I can see where my eyes are going. My eyes are going to the past. So where is it coming from? It's coming from a past issue that I have experienced, and I'm anchoring it because I don't trust this person. That's why right now these set of behaviors are making me feel suspicious. Is it got anything to do with what is happening right now? Not necessarily. My reference point is, in the past I've been betrayed, therefore I don't trust this person. I'm coming back to this present moment. I'm bringing the past into this present moment, and I'm saying I'm feeling suspicious. Now, if you communicate that to your partner, you have just unlocked a box of issues, because you're not talking about the present moment only. You're also bringing up the past, which doesn't actually build the relationship. It actually erodes the relationship. There are better ways of addressing these issues without bringing it up all the time. So in terms of lying to an overthinker, this is the Pandora box that basically a person is opening, because they don't only think about the life today, they think about the lives in the past, they think about the lives in the future. It's just a dead-end situation. There's nothing going to happen there. So we have to start with ourselves in terms of healing and become aware of what is actually coming up, and look at what is in the present situation. So if you isolate what is in the present situation, what happened now in this particular instance, you are able to say, can you help me? Can you do this? Can you clarify this in the present moment without going to the past? Because you know what, you're trying to prove that this thing that you are thinking about is not there. But you're not going to the past. You are in the present moment. You're trying to clarify, to see clearly what is happening now.
Wow.
And that is the process of healing.
All right.
It's not going to the future. It's not going to the past. It's saying at this present moment, can I see you more clearly?
Okay. Sure.
Because I feel a certain way.
Wow, my queen, time doesn't allow us to move any further. But thank you so much for talking to us on these. And I'm hoping that from here, many of us will be getting healing for ourselves through God's help. And thank you so much for being so open. I think let's open more doors. Let's talk more, because there's so many other things that are affecting us mentally without us even being aware they are there, or that we are like that. And we need help, because we cannot move forward where our relationships are concerned. Bad relationships in the house with our children, with our parents, with our siblings, with our friends. We don't keep friends. We always lose friends. And in relationships, we always lose relationships. We don't thrive in these relationships because of that. But we are unaware, especially somebody who's hurt, protecting themselves, having walls around them. And at the end, this happens. But thank you so much. So for those who'd like to be in contact with you, how do they do so?
Please contact me on my cell phone number, 078-656-4584. And thank you so much, Sibongile, for having me. Thank you, family, for listening.
Thank you so much, my queen. I can't wait for our next session. May the Lord keep keeping you, and may He bless the works of your hands and bless everything that says you. So thank you. Have a great one.
Thank you so much. God bless. Bye.
Bye. And that, my family, is our queen and social worker, Babalwa Solombela. Don't forget, you can send a WhatsApp to 078-656-4584. It's 078-656-4584. I am signing out. Next up is Germany, Johan else. On something else. Do enjoy the rest of our shows, and we love you. Leaving you with the sounds of Michael Whitaker Smith, Michael W. Smith. Love always wins. And we say hello to Germany, Johan else on something else. Hello, Germany.